Why you looking like? He looking like.
You're like, what's going on here?
Right.
I just love it. I love it. I love it. We welcome you to the Talk of Life talk show with Elma. And that's me, not Andre. It's me, okay?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to have an awesome time tonight. I have my good friend that I've been knowing for a while, and he is such a dynamic man.
Oh,
Y'all know I got to act up on my show. Okay, but no, anyway, he is such a dynamic, I can't even find words to describe you. But before I get to you, I must introduce my host tonight. To my left is my husband, the pastor, Apostle Glenn Kirkwood. Yeah! And to my right, I have Lindy. I call her Lindy. Her name is Linda Smiley, one of our ministers in training at the Church Within International Ministry. And my guest, my special guest tonight is Andre Johnson. All right, give it up for Andre. Okay, this is a Christian-based talk show, and we always started off with a scripture. So I was trying to find a scripture that would meet this young man's qualifications. So this is the one that came up, Andre. Proverbs 3:27 out of the King James Version says, without hold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. So that's saying we're going to give honor to you tonight, okay, Andre? So we're going to get into Andre Johnson tonight. Are y'all ready to hear the story of this dynamic young black man who is a motivator, a poet, an author? So let me give you a little bit of background about him, okay? Is that all right? Yes. Okay. Now,
Yeah, me blushing.
I know I want you to blush. Okay. Now, this is about Andre. Serving a broad dimension, Andre L. uses core principle to move his audience to the next level principle, like faith, commitment, discipline, knowledge, and unity. Implement these principles, Andre has inspired individuals and organizations around the country to reach beyond their current state. In addition to his busy schedule, which he is very busy, he serves as director for the Reentry First Stop Center for Tarrant County. Andre has gained national, state, and local recognition for his ability to build community service programs and to inspire people to action. He received the Jody Spiegel, how you say that, Spiegel?
Jody Spiegel.
Spiegel. See, I told you, I can't even pronounce it. He's so important. Enhancement of Customer Service Award. This national award is awarded to one United States citizen annually for their direct impact in a community. Wow. National Association of Workforce Development of Professionals, Washington, D.C. He has been interviewed by Good Morning Texas, NBC Channel 5, performed on the Jody Lamb Show. I was so excited about that. And heard on countless radio interviews. Aren't we excited to have him on the Talk of Life talk show with Elma? Yes. That's a good endorsement right there. Okay, Andre poetry has gained recognition worldwide, far as Uganda, Nigeria. He is renowned his renowned, I can't even say the word, poem survived, inspired Strickland Middle School, and was utilized as their graduation theme. He believes if you build the people will build. Andre L. is a published author, a licensed minister, and holds a degree in the area of psychology and human ethics. Give him a hand. All right. Come on up, Kimberly. We welcome Kimberly to the stage, if you can make it over this way. Yeah, come up. Just come up those stairs. We're so excited to have Kimberly with us tonight. She's one of our guest hosts, and hopefully she'll become one of our hosts one day and stuff. But anyway, welcome, Kimberly. How are you?
Hey,
You know Andre, right? And Linda and my husband over here. Okay, so that's a little about Andre. So we're going to get into his life and his story. He might even run for president one day.
Amen.
Hey, Trump can do it, you can.
You sure right. Yes, you're right about that.
If he can
Yeah.
do it, anybody can run.
absolutely.
Okay, so tonight we just want to know. I love being bringing people on the show that can influence our community, and it's good to have young black men on the show so they can help other young black men to be inspired to go out there and do something with their lives outside of being on drugs and all this stuff. So tonight, Andre, we just want to hear a little bit about you. Tell us what's been going on in your life.
All right. Well, first, Emma, thank you for having me.
I'm
on the
happy to
show.
have you.
I'm so excited. You don't know,
Yes.
you don't know what to do because she pumped you up so much. Yeah, it make you feel so good. Like,
I
really?
know it.
Yeah.
It's they give honor where honor is due.
Well, I
I'm just
appreciate it.
excited.
Well, I appreciate it. Things just been going well. I'm doing a lot of trainings.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I've been moving around doing some trainings. I am working right now with the reentry population.
Good, good.
I'm just, I guess, it's just hard for me to break away from, I guess, community service.
Good.
And that's just where it's at for me. I'm working with various populations. So I'm working with the reentry population right now. Just going into the jails, providing a training for
Okay.
those individuals, as well as working with different organizations across Tarrant County. Just developing a pipeline.
Oh, good,
What we
good.
call the talent development pipeline, and really creating a service that's going to assist them in their transition right now.
When you say reentry,
Mm-hmm.
what classification were you talking about? What?
With reentry, you got multiple reentry. You have
Okay.
the individuals returning from veterans,
Okay.
returning from the military. That's reentry. But I work
Okay.
with the reentry population as it relates to individuals who may have some form of criminal background.
Okay, good.
We call them returning citizens now.
Yes, I like
individuals.
that.
So just helping them in the transition back
Okay.
into the community.
Okay. So when they come into your office,
Mm-hmm.
what is the first thing that you do with them? Coming out, are they coming straight out of prison, or how does that work?
Well, they're coming from various. Some of them are just getting out. So
Okay.
some of them may have been out 5 days, and then some of them have been out 10 years.
Okay.
But their background may still be a barrier to them gaining employment, gaining housing. So,
Good.
which is, matter of fact, Wednesday we're having the first Tarrant County Employment and Housing Consortium, where we're bringing employers and landlords together to work on this common initiative, because housing has a direct tie to
Yes.
recidivism.
Yes.
And not just in Tarrant County, but across the country. So when the individuals come to our office, the first thing our team does is just assess them. Excuse me, to identify what they need, whether we target the big three: transportation, housing, and employment.
And that's some of the difficulty that they have, right? Is trying to
Absolutely.
get housing. What about, do any of them get an opportunity to live with their parents or family or anything when they get out? Would that help them with housing?
Yeah, you have some of them who will live with their family, and then some live in a lot of different transitional housing
Okay.
as well. But then sometimes you have parents who don't want them back. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a
That should
difficult
be
task.
hard.
Yeah, it's a hard thing, but you have to keep in mind when some of them, when they left, it was in disarray.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
maybe now though that house is at peace, and even though that individual has made a transition in their life, that those parents or that family may still remember what it was when you were here.
Right.
So they're apt to help and
Yeah.
assist, but not so apt to let them back in, which is
Oh, okay.
understandable. So we
Well,
got to
yeah.
understand both sides. Yeah,
Right.
totally get
And
it.
stuff. So don't y'all, you all can jump in at any time, okay?
It's good. It's
Okay, so with, we look at this, and a lot of time, if they do not get assistance, or they tend to go back to prison, or
Well,
how many cases do you have similar to that? They come in and then they end up going back.
well, that's the thing. We're working to, I guess, affect the recidivism rate here in Tarrant
Okay.
County. So we haven't had many individuals to return because we have provided them assistance, whether it's employment or getting into some form of short-term training,
Okay.
whether it's the BEST program or individuals are getting into welding and CDL and things of that nature. So we're trying to create, we're not trying, but we are creating opportunities for the individuals to assist them in their transition so they don't reoffend.
Okay.
But yeah, you will have some individuals who will reoffend. One of the main things I do, which is a course that I teach, is on that human core piece of it.
Okay.
If they don't change their state of mind, it doesn't make a difference if they get a job or not. It's not a
That's
it's
important.
not a matter if they're
Right,
going to
right.
reoffend. It's just when.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the main thing. And I'm gonna tell you, it's two populations that I've seen in this population, and that's one of the things that I do when I go out and meet with the employers or different elected officials, is really informing them what I've seen. That there's two groups in this population. You have one group of individuals who have committed crimes, and then you have another group of individuals who are criminals. You got these are two different mindsets.
Wow.
You know, this is two different mindsets of individuals in this population, but many people group them all in one population.
Right.
But those individuals who have committed crimes, they're not criminals. They've committed
so
crimes.
what is the difference
Yeah, what's
between
the
the crime and a criminal?
Well, the criminals, they've chosen, this is my path.
Yeah.
I'm not their judge.
Oh,
I'm not the judge.
And I'm gonna continue to do
exactly.
it.
So they gonna do it regardless.
They're
can't-
going to redo it regardless.
Regardless if you give them a job, I mean, that's the
Right.
path
Okay.
they've chosen, that this is my lifestyle, this is what I want to do, until, you know, the creator changes their mind or whatever the case is, but this is my path. You know,
So they're not going to come in there.
they're not
with a-
coming to my office.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they said, no,
Yeah.
I don't need your help.
And
But they might come to your office to give what you can give
Yeah.
them.
Do they
yeah,
do that?
yeah. Now you may
Yeah.
have some that come in there for assistance. They will get
Okay.
the assistance that we
Right.
have,
Okay.
or
Right.
because they're mandated. You know,
Right.
Okay,
their
okay.
parole is on their back. You
Right.
know, or their PO is on their back, and they're riding them, so they're coming through to submit certain things, but they're really not asking for assistance.
No, they
You
don't.
know, it may be a cover up. You know, but
Okay.
either way, as I was saying earlier, I'm not the judge of them. But you
Right.
have that other group of individuals who have committed crimes. You know, they may have seen a shortcut or seen an opportunity, and they took it. You know, and they got caught, they got jammed up. So, and a lot of times with that group, you have those individuals come in, and the first thing they want to start doing is justify where they are. That, you know, I have 2 degrees, or I was making 6 figures, and I get it, because what they're trying to do is trying to let me know that, hey, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm really
Yeah.
look. You don't have to do that. You know, I get it.
Are these
I
the
get
ones
it.
that commit the crime, or these are
Those
the
are the
criminals?
ones who have committed
They're
crimes. For
crime.
instance,
Crime.
individuals not paying child support, you get a felony. You got a felony now.
really?
Yes, I've been in jails, and individuals are in jails, and you go so long without paying child support, it becomes a felony. Or you get too many DUIs.
Wow.
You know, a young lady was in my came to my office, and she was just, you could just see it on her face, man, that she was just so brokenhearted that she's having to go through this process. Just graduated from UTA and
Oh,
had too
no.
many DUIs, and now it turns into a felony. So now she has to go to Safe P and spend 9 months. So when she's released, now she has a probation officer,
man.
and they're telling you got to do this, a parole officer,
Yeah.
and now they're telling you have to do this, and she's just like, I'm not supposed to be going through this.
But she can't help herself.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that individuals like that, individuals like that, these are not criminals.
Right.
Yeah, these
These
are not.
people that just have a problem.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
may have a
spiritual
problem.
that they don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they may have a problem, or as I was saying earlier, just some individuals may their hard times hit,
Yeah.
and they take a shortcut.
Yeah.
You know, and
go
maybe they
wrong
haven't been
sometimes.
exposed
To
to
take
other
care of their
options.
family.
Or do something. Yeah.
Yeah, so they take that shortcut, and
Right.
they,
You
that just
know-
happened to be the day they get caught.
Yeah, because see,
Yeah.
all of us could have gotten caught at one time or another.
Absolutely.
You know, you think about it, you know.
Absolutely.
Even stealing a little candy out of a cookie jar back then. You know, you think about that, all of us could
The
have gotten
stories
caught
that I
with
have,
something, yes.
the stories I have before I've gotten to this point in my life. I mean, I had my door kicked in by task force. Just so happened all the stuff was gone before, so I never got a case. I was faced with second-degree armed robbery and was never convicted.
See?
You know, so I don't have anything on my record. So I've broken a lot of laws, you know, but I'm not a criminal. I may have been considered a criminal then. You know, maybe I was a criminal then. Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. That's why I don't write people off.
Right,
Yeah,
because God saved you from doing that.
Absolutely.
Because all of us could, you know,
Yeah.
I was thinking about when I was growing up, this young man, and you know, when you're ignorant to certain things, you don't know. And I'm driving him around in my car.
Yeah.
And we all friends, we homies, you know, all of us grew up together, we sisters and brothers. And He comes back, he said, I left something in your car. When he pulled it out, it was weed. And I didn't even know that. I mean, he had the big bag of weed.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older, I could have gone to prison for that. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know it. That's the reason why you have to be careful who you allow to get in your car nowadays because of that.
But also that depends on what age you was when this happened.
I was 17.
Okay, well, see, you would not have. You probably would have went to I don't know, juvie.
Shoot, juvie is just as worse as prayer to jail. I
don't go nowhere. Juvie, hoovie.
I don't want any of it. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm like Medea. I'm scared. You know. But you think about it, and then you see. I was watching Cops the other night. Cops in the women Dallas, and this little boy was with this other guy, and they got caught with weed. And it scared him half to death. He was just scared. And the cop was saying, well, have you ever done? No. And then here this other guy that already been to jail and prison, and he was getting him to do this. And then the woman was talking to him, telling him, do you know you could go to prison? This could mess up your whole life. And he was real good in sports. He had a scholarship, and he was telling them this, right? And here go the mom. She walks out there. And she, you know how we can get some of us. And she was just acting all. And the woman was saying, all I need you to do is say, you would take him.
Yeah.
We won't take him to jail because we see that he really want to go to school. He made mistakes. But she was going off, you know. And finally he said, Mama, will you please? I don't want this on me. I'm not going to do this again. I don't know if he's going to do it again, but he was so scared that he was going to go to jail for this weed and it was going to mess up his scholarship, you know. So she gave him a break this time and told him, now, if I see you again, you going down, you know. So he could have been one of those just crime. That would be considered like a crime. He just broke the thing.
He's not a criminal.
He's not a
just
criminal.
Did the crime.
That wasn't major.
You know, so on here I was looking at. Okay, you say you work with Human Core Development. What kind of classes do they provide?
Well, actually, Human Core Development is something I created.
Okay, you created this.
It's something
See,
I
I
created.
told y'all he is so awesome.
Yeah.
He created this curriculum. You wrote everything about this.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's still in the development stages, but it's really centered around helping an individual to discover their core.
Okay.
You know, and actually who they are. And the reason being, Alma, is because me being engaged with individuals on a regular basis, I'm not talking about reentry, to my individuals, period, because you know I do training with different staffs and different organizations. As I run across people, not everyone is able to articulate who they are.
Right.
If you strip away the degrees, their work experience, what they've been engaged in, then they can't tell you who they are.
Right.
Okay.
You know, so if someone was to ask you before you obtain all this, who are you? Who did the Creator create you to be?
Okay.
You know, what will you sit here with? Okay. So the Human Core Development is designed to help an individual tap into that core. You know, that seed that it talks about in Genesis. A seed that birthed out his own kind. So a seed is never designed to remain a seed. It's supposed to blossom. It's supposed to develop. But most people die in their bud state. You know, they die in their state never becoming what God has created them to be. So along with my studies and experience, and you know, I love psychology and human science. That's just where it's at. It's like they just create that for people like me. You know, I just love it.
You just start working with their mind.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
But see, the human core, it really targets 5 different keys. There are multiple keys we go into, but there's 5 main keys that we look at, which is your talents, your mental strengths, your skills, your abilities, and the characteristics of your personality. We really don't get into type A, type B personality, but we do talk about introvert, extrovert, ambivert, slow pace, fast pace. And so an individual can discover, okay, my core, and then identify where does it fit in the society. You know, is it politics, is it ministry, is it entrepreneurship, is it entertainment, whatever the case is, where does this core fit where you can place it and it blossom?
Okay.
And I'm so driven on doing that, especially with the population the population that lacks. Okay, and that population can be reentry, it can be individuals who have degrees, but they just lack that awareness.
Right.
I provide that training for those individuals so that way they can discover, because I'm big on education, yes, but I'm big on educating yourself based on what you already possess. Not just going to get a degree, because that don't work. You know, just too many people out of work without a degree, right. You know, too many people out of work with degrees, but are working in a field that the degree has nothing to do with.
Yeah, like me.
So my thing is, if you're going to educate yourself on the thing that God has already given you. You know, to educate yourself on that. But most people haven't identified what is that core.
That's it.
Yeah, and so that's what the human core piece is, and I provide a piece of it. In the jails. I've seen how effective it is. I've seen the confidence that an individual, that they really get when they really start going through this assessment and answering these questions and going through this process and being able to identify that, man, I already have this. I already possess this, and then there is a market for it. Somebody has, I'm an answer to somebody's problem already. Already. So now I just need to go and cultivate this thing, and I can cultivate it by getting a 4-year degree, a 2-year degree, doing self-taught, getting a mentor. Or what the case is, but once I discover what this seed is, now it's time for me to start cultivating this thing, start growing it and developing
and helping them to see who they really are.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because a lot of times, like you said, that even with the education part, you know, I went in engineering because my brother made me go to engineering. I love math, and I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I got laid off from being an engineer, said I need a talking job because I love to talk. You know, so he said, you're always talking, you ought to get a talking job. And then, you know, God opened up the door for me to do facilitation and everything. You know, we got that facilitation license, certified. We went through all that. Andre and I worked for, we've been together for a long time.
Right? Yeah, we have.
But we got certified together as a facilitator. We went through all Bill Debbie's and all of that. But you know, when I see Elma,
pardon me, when I first heard Elma speak, I said to myself, there's somebody as loud as I am. Because I used to speak and they say, man, we can hear you all the way down the hallway. When Elma started speaking, I was like, this ain't, I had to step my game up. I said, I refuse to have anybody out-talk me up in here. But I enjoy, I'm not going to be it. I'm not going to do it.
But it was funny that both of us was doing workshops, motivating people and everything. And and the good thing about it, like you said, we were passionate about this. We was passionate, and you could feel the passion because they could walk into that workshop hurt, like you said. We got into their mind to try to make them feel good because a lot of time when people get laid off, that was the end of their world. You know, they didn't know which way to go. And so you have to get in there and change that, and that's what you're good at that.
And you know what, I'm gonna tell you something too with that particular thing, and it's not to discredit anyone else. But when you look at, since we're talking about this human core piece, when you put individuals in their element, they're going to advance. Elma went to the board. I became the corporate trainer, started training all the staff because you put us in our element. We're supposed to succeed in it. So I tell individuals, it's not that I am cocky or arrogant. I'm confident.
That's it.
You have to own, if this is what you possess.
You got to own it.
You got to own it.
The only way you're really going to grow in that thing is if you own it and you start cultivating that thing. Yeah, so you operate. Let me share this with you too. And you guys know I'm a teacher, so I gotta say something to start teaching, right? but when you look at arrogance is simply operating outside of the truth. Humility is operating within the truth. All that shy and playing it down, that can be your personality. Well, I'm okay. I'm just doing. That's your personality, man. I'm loud. Even though I'm very loud, I'm in your face. I'm aggressive. I'm assertive. That's my personality. So, and the thing is, and operating in the truth is, I'm good at what I do. I was given this gift and this ability. So once you own that, the arrogance is, well, nah, it's not me. Man, kill that, man.
It's you.
Yes, it is. God's giving it to you. You got to create that thing. You got to cultivate it.
That's right.
Because this is what I always look at. All of us are talented.
Yes,
right?
we are.
When it comes to this human core thing that I'm teaching and training, I tell them that all of us are talented in something. We all
Yes.
have this gift. All of us, but not all of us are skilled in the talent.
There you go.
That's where the separation
That's it.
comes from.
That's right.
This becoming skilled in that talent is on you.
That's right.
It's on us. It's not on the creator. He's giving you this talent.
you just
If
got
you
to-
never become skilled in that thing, that's your fault.
That's your fault.
Yeah, it's your
That's
fault.
it. And see, and this is the thing that I had to realize too in my life was I had to learn how to love me
Yeah.
and how to own my own personality and to
Yeah.
walk into this.
Yeah.
And I knew engineering wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? But when I started learning how to own it, this is one of the things that I talk about. When I walk into something, I look at that as my own. I own Texas Workforce Commission. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I own H&R Block. When I walk in there, I own it.
Right.
And when you own something, you give it your best.
Yeah.
Right.
You want it to grow.
Yeah.
You want
Right.
it. So it's easy when I can walk in and they say, Elma, how can you do this? How can you walk into a workshop and then they say, can you get up and do this workshop? Yes, I can do it.
Right.
I don't have to study to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my gift.
Right.
I can walk in there and do a workshop and they can come in and say, "Night, Elma, can you do a workshop for me?" Yes.
Yeah.
I'm confident in that.
You know, Elma, this is why I keep going back to the human core piece
Yes.
because what we're talking about, this is what it encompasses. Is you going in there and owning that and being
Right.
able. I believe that we're supposed to be living our lives out of
Right.
our abundance.
Yes.
What you're already rich with. So if you're rich with this confidence or
right.
you're rich with this, it's because you're rich with it to serve, to pour
That's
into
it.
others.
That's right.
Okay?
Yes.
So you're going to be in the forefront.
Yes.
You have the
Yes.
personality, you have
Yes.
the charisma, and then you're rich with it to pour into somebody who may be poor in confidence.
Right,
Okay,
right.
that's where the strategic planning or the
you
strategic
go.
writing comes.
Yes,
How
yes.
can I transfer?
Yes.
How can I
yes.
transfer what I possess into this individual so that way they can take a glimpse
it.
of it or a piece of it
Yes.
and then accomplish what they're going after?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we do here at the church is when we see the gift that the people have, I want them to use their gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of times they don't have the opportunity to use their gift because nobody pushes them to it too. You can see it on them and they'll be like, oh no, yes, you can do this. And then a lot of times they'll come to me and they'll say, oh, co-pastor, I blah, 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 this, and I want to do this here. I say, well, if God gave that to you, he didn't give that to me.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
you need to do this. And they be
Yeah.
like, really? I can do this? Yes, you can do this.
Discovering your core
Yes.
is finding your voice. That's really what it is. You find your voice now to where you feel no need to compete.
Yeah.
There you go.
No
good.
need
That's
to
That's
to
right.
try
You don't
to
have
be
to.
like someone else. You
Right,
really
right.
found, like
Yourself.
you say, I've fallen in love with myself, right? I've fallen in love with what the Creator has given me.
Right.
I see it as value. I see it as worth.
Yes.
Okay, and now I can go and start cultivating this thing and start sharing with someone else.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
and then you have
Yes.
your voice because you know where I fit
Right,
in society. I know
right.
where to place this thing where it can start blossoming and start
That's
growing.
it. You know, when you said that, I thought about the ugly duckling. You know?
Yeah.
You know, the ugly duckling tried to be,
Right.
what was it, a swan or whatever it was, and he trying to do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I had to learn how to just be me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not trying to be somebody else. Just be Elma.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I love to wear wigs. I changed my wig, but the wig don't change who Elma
That's
is.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm still Elma no matter if I'm a
Right.
blonde like Linda.
Yeah.
I can't wear that one yet, but I haven't had firewall that I can put on like yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
hair. But just to say, hey, this is me.
Right.
You know, I'm just Elma. I changed my wig, but this is just my personality.
Right.
But I'm more of a motivator. I want to encourage people. I don't want to take from them.
Right.
I want to encourage them to be in there and say, you're such a confident woman. But you know what? I used to didn't feel like I was a
Right,
confident
right,
woman. Like you
right.
said, I had to learn myself. I had to get off in here to say, yes, I am a confident woman.
And I think one of the things that gives us true confidence is when you identify the results that has come from these talents or these gifts and abilities. That's part of the human core development piece of it too, which is helping an individual identify a track record. So they don't have a false sense of confidence. You know,
Right.
that confidence, well, I can do anything I put my mind to. That's a good attitude to have, I get it. But how do you know you can? If
Yeah.
you say that
There
you're
you go.
motivated, how do you know that you're
Yeah.
motivated? Well,
Yes.
because the results say so.
There you
I
go.
don't say so. Until we
you go.
have results, we are what is considered self-proclaimed. So the results tell the story. You know, whether I've been validated by somebody else or something else I put this gift to work.
Right.
I put this talent to work, and this thing has produced some results. So now I just tell you that the results said that I can inspire people, or I
Right,
can
there
help
you
move
go.
people from point A to point B. Not so much me, is that these awards, I only tell those awards, share those awards when I go speak, so that individuals who are big on prestige,
There
big
you
on
go.
certification, big on degrees, they know I've been validated.
Right.
That's it. And so in
That's it.
other than that, there's no need
That's
for me
it.
to share it.
That's
But to
right.
share with them so they know I've been validated. I'm not validating myself. You know, society has validated that this guy can do this. So when you help individuals identify the
That's
results
right.
in their own life,
That's
then they
right.
develop that real confidence. Even if their results is in the streets or was incarcerated when they was incarcerated or wherever it was. If you have some results, it's like the sports is in the books. It's
Yeah.
done.
right.
You can never tell me that I'm not this because the results has
Shows-
told me that I am.
That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's
absolutely.
it. That's it. And that's what you want. And then people were like, even what you're doing dealing with the reentry people, some of them probably walk in there already feeling bad, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then you beat them down even more. You know, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So you go in and you what? Pump them up with your.
Oh God,
Well,
does he?
Does he pump them up? How do you know that, London? Talk to me.
Lord, yes, he
You
does.
heard him pump them up.
I thought we was having church one one Thursday. I was getting ready to pass the pan. He really.
I know he can do that.
He encourages. He motivates them. But the thing I like about him, he doesn't lie to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
you
he-
don't need to do that. They already have been
That's
lied
right. They
enough,
already
too.
been hurt. They,
Yeah.
you know, and they feel no worth, you know, when they coming out. And then you have people that, although the family, you know, support them, but they really don't support them.
Right, right.
You know, because the question in their mind is, okay, how long are you going to be free? How long are you going to stay out? How
Yeah.
long are you going to do this? What are you doing? And then, you know, you become the police, as my
Yeah.
son told me one time. He said, Mama, you my police. You're not my mother. You my police.
Yeah.
You know, and that was true. And, you know, I thought about it. That's true. But Mr. Johnson, he motivates them. And if they don't get it from him, I don't know how they would get it.
You know-
Because he doesn't judge. And that's the best
Absolutely
part
right.
And,
right
and that's
there.
what they
Yeah.
probably
He
looking
does not
for.
judge.
Well, the
Somebody
thing is,
to judge
I've fallen too much. I've made too many errors and mistakes. So before I even got to this point, God removed that gavel. You
Okay.
know, I don't have any
Okay.
right to judge.
Right.
You know, yes, I most definitely tell them the truth that the reality is that you're going to be judged.
Right, right.
So one of the things I encourage them to do is to, you have to have resolve. You know, which is, it's one thing I always tell them is you got to have resolve, which is to settle all arguments.
Yes, yes.
But when I tell them, you got to settle all arguments about you within you.
Right, right.
That's the key.
Yeah.
You have to settle all arguments about you within you, meaning settle that argument that you have that
Yes.
you don't tell nobody else about.
Right,
Or
right,
if you're
right.
still judging yourself because of your mistakes.
Yes.
You're still
Right.
beating
And that's
yourself up
hard.
because you're still, because if you don't, subconsciously what you
Yes.
do is you try to navigate away from that when you're talking to people because you don't want anyone to go down that path because you haven't settled it yet.
Right.
You haven't resolved the situation.
The
You
inner
yeah.
you.
So the
Right.
thing is, once you settle it, what they do or what we do is we take the judgment out of being stinged.
Yeah.
We take the
Okay.
judgment out of being judged. Even
Okay.
though we're going to be judged, we still
Right.
take that sting out of it.
Yeah,
So
right.
now you can judge me if you want to, but I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
It's in the past.
Right.
There you go, in the past.
Yeah, it's in the past. So being able to encourage these individuals, real motivation is not going in there and talking fast or talking loud. That's energy.
Right,
You know, that's you
right.
giving them energy.
Right.
Real motivation is when you activate a person's motor. When you go in there, you can speak in a way or share resources and ideas that you spark.
Right,
You
right.
activate that motor when their ideas is running. They start thinking, yeah, I can do this. That's motivation because it's
Right,
lasting.
right.
You
Yeah,
know,
right.
the
Yeah.
creativity starts
Yes.
flowing. Like, man, I didn't know about that. Like, okay. Yeah, and what you do is you start bringing hope back, which is the number one factor.
Right.
You start bringing the expectations that what I'm going after, I can really have.
Right.
Yeah.
Was there a time in your past where you was a judge, you know, and then you kind of made a change?
Right.
Yeah, I was. I was a judge subconsciously. And I'm glad you brought that up. When I was with the homeless population, and man, when I was getting those awards, I was undercover, arrogant. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't act like it,
yeah.
Right.
but I spoke from a place.
Okay.
This is very good. I spoke
felt
from
it down on the
I spoke from a place that you need to hear me.
Oh, like was that
Yeah,
pride?
yeah,
like?
pride,
Oh,
man.
no,
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah, I did.
No, man, not you.
But the thing is, but this is
But
the
it's
thing.
good. That's
Hey,
good.
but
that
this
you
is the
saying
thing.
that.
Wow.
This is the thing. I
Yes.
didn't know that until I checked myself.
Come on,
Yeah,
yes.
I didn't know
But
that
how
until
did you check
Check
yourself?
yourself.
getting back in my relationship with the Creator, really praying, and in my meditation, being able to be quiet and letting Him show me when I'm speaking to them where I'm speaking from.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
speaking from a platform like, how'd you get here? How you do yourself like
So
that?
you were like judging them.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah.
see, you can be prideful and humble at the same
Same
time.
time, yeah.
And because you operate out of this humility, because that's
Right,
you really
right.
want to serve them, but at the
Yes.
same time you got that pride on you, like, man, why you do yourself like,
Like
this?
that.
I cannot believe you went from 6 figures and now you're at Union Gospel.
Right.
Well, I don't see how people do stuff like. So you
Yeah,
even though
I
you're not
see-
saying
I
it
see what
verbally,
you're saying,
and I
yeah.
never said to anybody,
Right.
Right.
you
but
still
thinking
have it
it.
in your.
Your mind.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, so I had to
That's
be
right.
convicted of that because
Yeah.
that affects my teaching.
Yes, it does.
That
yes,
affects
it does.
that affects where you speak from.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so even though you never say it and people can't detect it,
But you
But
speaking
man,
from judgment,
yeah, you
though.
speaking from
you
that
speaking
place.
from that.
Yeah,
And
so
some
you
of those
hear-
people can hear that.
yeah, and
Right.
see now
Hear
I
that.
hear
Yes.
so now I can hear when people are speaking out of judgment.
Judgment, come
because
on,
they
yes.
don't say a lot.
Yes.
They don't include us in it.
That's right.
They don't say we were.
Right.
They say you.
You.
They say a lot of you did this or you ought to get it instead of
We. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
in other words,
including
yeah,
yourself with the
absolutely.
we.
Because
Yes.
my fault might not have been your fault.
But we
man, I
all
got some
have
jacked up
sinned.
ways
Yes.
too.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah, so once you really accept that,
Yes.
then you start speaking from a different place. It helps with your creativity. We can really start coming up with more and more ideas of how to help people move from point A to point B
Yes.
of their life.
Yes.
Because you really, same thing I tell my team now, is always keep the people's pain in your face.
Yes.
Keep their hurt in your face,
Face.
man. Keep their, if
Yes.
these individuals are coming to you and you don't know what they're coming from.
Right.
You know, so
That's so
yeah,
true.
keep their pain and their hurt in your
Yes.
face. In leadership, we call it the servant's heart.
Yes.
Meaning
yes,
you keep
yes,
pumping out
yes.
ideas of how to advance people.
Right,
You
right,
keep coming
right.
up with ideas of how to move people from point A to point B, create opportunities, develop relationships. I have relationships with people I don't like. But we got a relationship with them. because
Now you done hit something.
yeah, because I'm getting on the road now. So
Come
y'all,
on.
hold on, wait a minute.
Whoa.
But because it's like,
You be like, Lord.
So
and
how
the
do you
reason
deal
why
with that? What you just said with
Yes,
relationship with people
really
you don't like.
you keep your focus on the people.
Okay, on the
You
people.
keep your focus on serving the people, meaning
Okay.
create opportunities to advance people, to move people to the next level. And
Yes.
see, nowhere in Webster's dictionary,
Come on.
nowhere in American Heritage Dictionary, you're gonna find the word friend in relationship. Relationship simply means to be connected by a common bond or
Okay,
a common assignment.
yeah.
There are a lot of people I have a common assignment with that I don't like them, but my like is my preference.
Right, right.
So I don't let my like interfere with my
Feel with-
commitment for the people.
Come on, I like
Right,
that.
so
yes.
I don't even tell, I don't even act like it. You won't even know
No,
I don't
you
like it
don't
because
like
I
it.
love you.
Right, right.
Because I got a commitment to you. We got a real
Right,
live
yes,
relationship,
right.
and I'm not gonna allow how I feel to
Right.
interfere with how we can serve the people. So I work with
That is
people.
so true.
This is something I won't say
Yes.
exactly what it is because if he listening, he'll probably know what I'm talking about. He'll know I'm talking about him. But it was one guy I couldn't stand this joker. I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't stand this joker when we started working together, because we was putting on this event. We was putting on this event, we was putting on an event because he had this air like he was all that, right? And I'd seen it because you know how I said I was, so I seen it, right?
You see
I
it,
recognized
you
it.
used to be like that.
I recognize
yeah,
it, right?
We all been there,
But the
okay?
thing
That's why I brought that up.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
he had a heart for the people too.
Okay.
So we work together, and we end up putting
Yeah.
on something in Tarrant County that has never been done before.
Okay.
But if I had allowed my preference
Feeling.
to get in
Come
the way,
on, come
In
on.
the way.
we
wouldn't
wouldn't have been
have
able to
happened.
serve all those people that we serve.
That's right.
That we're still serving because
Serving
we're
now.
still working together. Because now we laughing and joking together and everything. Because this is beautiful. Because in the Bible, I
love
got to
it.
get into the Bible now. Because when the Bible says love covers a multitude of sins,
Doesn't it?
that's what love is. It's commitment. It's
Yes, it
confinement.
is.
It's not a feeling.
Right.
So I am committed to our relationship.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, I'm locked into the relationship.
yes.
So now that love has covered everything else.
Everything.
I don't care all that stuff I didn't like.
That's
I don't
right.
even remember no more.
No more. That's what I'm talking
because
about.
the thing is, in the relationship,
Sure.
I see that you're just as committed to the people as I'm committed.
There you go.
I see you working just as hard for these
Yes.
people as I'm
And
working.
it's no
And what
competition
that
in
does,
there,
it
is it?
draws us
There you
closer.
go.
You see,
Yes,
it starts
it does.
drawing us
Right.
closer.
Yes.
I'm like, man, this guy just as committed to these people as I am. And that's all I started seeing. I stopped looking
Your
at
feelings
everything.
start
There you
backing
go.
off, you see?
Yeah, but first we got to get past the feelings.
That's it.
Right.
That's
Most
the
people
thing.
can't get past
That's
their
the
preference.
feelings. Yes.
Yeah, they can't get past their preference
See.
and how they feel. I don't like how you act. I don't like how you dress. I don't like
Oh,
how you
you
talk to
talking
other
to
people.
me.
I don't like how you respond
Yes.
to me. I don't like how you treat
Yes.
other people. Man, get past that.
That's
Focus
it.
on the
But
relationship.
that's it.
This
That's
is
it.
why
That's
a
it.
lot of Muslims can't work with Christians. Why
That's
Christians
it.
can't
Can't
work with
work with
Buddhists
Muslims. That's
because
it.
we won't focus on a relationship. The relationship can be, I want
on
for
the
my kids that you want for yours.
Right.
I want for my
Want the best,
community
yeah.
like you want for
For
yours.
yours,
And
right.
if we can stay focused on the
that,
relationship,
right.
we'll find a common
And see,
bond.
that's it.
We'll find a common thread.
And that's the things. And you, when you, I'm talking, you talking to me because this is something that I have that I'm still learning, even being a
Mm-hmm.
co-pastor. Okay. Because, I mean, you're dealing with so many different personalities. And some of them, you know that they don't like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some of them, I just don't like either.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But I'm learning to look at
What do you like?
that's the part
What
I'm
do you
looking
like
at.
in them?
What do I like in them? And then I try to cover up the other part, you know, and don't look at that because my main goal is to get everybody where they can go to Christ. That's
Yeah,
my goal.
yeah,
And if I thought about this one incident that this girl just kept picking on me and picking on me and picking on me. And I got into self, and I almost laid her out right here in the church. And I was getting ready to, boy, my fist started balling up.
What?
And I'm serious.
Yeah.
That was at the beginning of the ministry.
okay,
That
yeah.
was when we first started the ministry. And I know we dealing with spirits and
Yeah,
stuff, and she had a real nasty, and she was just deliberate to do stuff. And I'm trying to, no, you can't do that, Kirkwood. People are looking at you. But this day, I didn't give a flip.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
And right when I got ready, my good sister, my good best friend Bartha said, Kirk, because she saw my fist going up.
Yeah.
And I caught myself.
Yeah.
Well, I know God just, helped me back. And then I thought about it. I said, oh my God. Look at how many people would have been affected by just that.
Yeah.
So it's teaching me, like you just said, you learn to look past all that.
Yeah.
And if you see the goals that they're trying to go to, you look past that ugliness.
Yeah. I'm
You
gonna tell you.
But I want to share something.
Go ahead.
She's
Apostle
talking.
Apostle asked, what do you like, Kirkwood? Well, I like when they clock out and go home. The days they're off.
There you go.
Bye, Felicia.
Vacation.
Not feeling good at that time.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you this.
I like that, Gail.
Well, you been honest.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, one of the trainings I used to do with staff is don't allow your light to interfere with your commitment.
That's right.
And the commitment is meaning you confine yourself
Yes.
to the relationship that we have. So when we have a relationship, I have a right to pull your coattail.
Right.
I have a right to challenge you. And I used to use the analogy of a championship team. If we're going at the beginning of that season, our relationship is to get to the championship.
That's it.
That's the common
That's
bond, the
it.
common assignment.
That's it. That's
And
the
so
focus.
if we have that relationship, I have a right to ask you why were you at practice?
That's right.
Right.
Come
I have
on.
a right to
Help me
ask
tonight.
you
Yes.
it is not about me.
It's
because
about-
you're jeopardizing the
That's
relationship.
right. There you
Right.
go.
You're
Yeah.
jeopardizing what we have a common
Accomplished.
interest in.
Yes, come on.
So if we're on a team,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
not personal.
All right.
So when I bring it to your attention,
Attention.
it's about what you're doing to the relationship.
Ship.
And that's the same in an intimate
That's right.
relationship.
That's right.
So it's not about me. We said we're going to have this kind of marriage.
Right.
We said we're going to have this. You keep doing this with the father. You're jeopardizing the relationship.
The relationship.
So that's what I always look at. Once you sever the relationship, we have no ties. Once you are working with me and you sever our common bond and common interest, we have no ties anymore.
That's right.
Now, I can love you from afar.
That's
I don't
faster.
have to, I don't have to, now I don't have to work with you now because you severed the relationship. And that's
But you still love him.
I still love
But
you.
you love him
And
over
the
there.
The commitment is this. The commitment, the love
Yeah.
is this. If you ever need help,
You're going to be there.
I'm always, because I'm committed to your success. I'm committed to you becoming what God
Yeah.
has created you to
Right,
be.
right.
I look, and I came up with the that commitment love thing when I was looking at God so loved the world
Right, right.
that He gave His only begotten Son. You don't see anywhere in the Bible where He tells us to like.
Nope. He said love.
He said love.
Love.
Your like, because your like is going to go up and down.
That's right.
Your like
I
is
like
based
you one
on your
minute,
yeah,
don't like you the
so
next.
it's your preference.
That's right.
Right.
But
And
my
that
love
time,
has to
yeah.
be steady. This is why you can't have unconditional love. I am committed to you no matter what. No matter what
That's
you
right.
do. I don't have to like you. I don't have to talk to you for years. But if you're trying to get to the next level. I'm going to help you do that. That's love.
Right,
So
that's
I
love.
look at that and I look at if God operate on His preference, if He operate
That's
on
right.
feelings.
Lord.
But He said, in other words, I'm so committed to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to show
Thank
you
you,
how
Lord.
committed I am to you,
Yes.
helping you become what I created you to do, that I'm going to give
Come
my
on.
only son to show you that I'm confined to you,
Yes,
man.
yes.
So when we do that for one another,
Another.
we start having this feeling that, man, they love me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I'm so committed to, I'm going to help you accomplish what you're going
There you
after.
go.
This is why that stuff begins to overrule everything
Yes,
else.
yes.
Because I'm still going to do this for you, and you're like, I can't believe I did this to this guy.
And
He's
he's
still
still
helping
here.
me.
Right.
I can't
I did this
understand.
to
I
this
did
woman, and
this,
she's still
and
here
they
for me.
still here.
Right.
Yeah.
See, and that's some of
Absolutely.
the things that people can't understand is,
Right.
And to me, it's like they say, well, you letting them use you, okay?
Right.
But you know what? I learned too that I can't. They really can't use me.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I can always stop them.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Yes,
you can't really
yes.
use me.
Right.
I'm
Right.
there to really help
Help.
you. You look at it as using me.
Right.
But then there's a point where I will stop.
That's right.
Right.
You
That's
see what
right.
I'm saying? When I feel like that, but you know, I look at Linda and I right here. We didn't like each other
Lord,
when we
here we go.
started.
Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah, we did like each other. I mean, we really didn't like each other.
Oh,
But-
Lord, here she goes.
But I have to tell the story. But you know, the thing of it is, I knew in a way that she was an assignment. You know how you get those people that you
Assignment,
know?
like
Yeah,
she
yeah.
made-
Assignment.
Like I
It's
made
like
it.
on that.
Like I made it.
You a
Wait,
case,
like I
you
Yeah,
a
made
case
see,
study.
I see too.
Yeah, yeah.
But I could see
You
myself
can
in
see
her
herself
too.
in her. That's
Cause I had a nasty attitude like
Yeah.
that. She had a nasty attitude. But the thing of it is, I used to
Well,
go,
but
why?
can't you say something good? You know, you say
I'm
you
finna
say
get a good
oh,
part,
okay,
but
okay.
you know we have to get to the ugly
Oh,
part
yeah.
so
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can see how
Don't encourage,
how
don't
how God can come in and cleanse us up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if we only talk about the good part, then people like, well, hey, how did y'all get to that? But like you
Right.
said,
Right.
when you get into that person and you see, hey, I see something in her. Maybe she doesn't. I see, and really, it's got to a point where I started analyzing her because I really
hell.
thought something was wrong with her.
Really?
Now it's coming out on the show. Yeah, yeah.
She can't get me on the show.
Yeah.
But when you think about that, but once you really start looking at the person as being who they can really be, and I saw that in her.
Yeah.
I started not seeing the ugliness,
Yeah.
and I started seeing that beautiful that little beautiful looking face. And then I started seeing that. And so I would go home and I would holler at Glenn. Oh, she make me so angry. She always so negative. Can't she find any positive? He said, oh, baby, you still got to work with her.
Yeah.
Why I got to work with her, you know?
Yeah.
But through those years, God started letting me see me really in her. And a lot of times, like you say, you start looking at that other person, and you start seeing yourself. And I started seeing a little bit of me in it. And then I said, well, you know what? God didn't give up on me.
No, you
That's
didn't
good.
get
And then, but my husband teaching me how to deal with people, because I cuss them out, be ready to leave them, drop them. Like they screw me around the first, I'm done. But then he will teach me, no, baby, you can't do that. You're dealing with a spirit, and you got to watch those spirits. You know, those spirits are coming at you and everything.
Okay, let's come on.
But anyway, but I want y'all to know how bad she was.
Miss
How
Hubbard.
bad we were.
Wait.
We was really bad. But
Wait,
God had
wait.
really saved us.
Miss Williams gonna mention this to me.
But
tomorrow.
God. But I'm gonna share with y'all. Now, Linda is a beautiful person.
Okay.
She's a beautiful, honest person now.
Giving.
But giving person. But she had always been like that.
But
It
you
was
never
just
got a
I just
chance
had to
see
help
it.
get it out.
You didn't even
And
see
then
that.
she saw
Yeah.
some things in me that was ugly too. But we started sharing, and we were both, start. She would say, okay, and she would tell me things, and I would tell her things. But we ended up building it, but it took God to get us there.
But
I'ma
tell
tell you-
how you always start. I'm
And
sorry.
this is what I would start. I would
This is
say,
how she-
when God would tell me, he'd say, you got to tell them this. I said, oh God, how's she going to take this? And I would get in her car, and she would be, hi, good morning. Hi. I said, Linda,
You know,
you know I love you. You know we have to start with that.
Let's start here first.
Yeah, you know I love you.
you,
She
right?
said, uh-oh, what did I do?
What is it now?
But, we have grown to love. Like you said, love hides a multitude of sin.
Right.
That's
You know.
why I guess when individuals are able to really discover themselves, you help them start fulfilling scriptures. Love your neighbor like you love yourself.
Right.
So when they are committed
Yeah.
to themselves, then I'm committed to my neighbor like I'm committed to myself. So that's why I'm always, I'm always big on definitions and
Right.
identifying the foundation of a word and where it comes from. So that's why I look at love and commitment, because people sometimes want to treat their neighbor how they feel about themselves.
Right.
But when
Right.
it says love your neighbor like you love yourself, if you just exchange those words and be committed to your neighbor like you're
Wow.
committed to yourself. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So if
That's
Oh, my
good.
God.
you're
That's
not
good.
committed to your dreams and your goals, if you're not committed to your assignment in the earth realm, nor will you be committed to other people's assignment in the earth realm. So that's
true.
how we look at it. If I am to love, or I change and I am to be committed to my neighbor, like I'm committed to myself. This is why I don't quit on people, because I will not quit on myself.
Good. I like that.
I will not give
Yes.
up on people because I refuse to
To
give up on myself.
I like
Regardless
that.
of how many mistakes
That's
I've
good.
made, regardless of how
Yes.
many bad decisions I've made, I keep
Right.
getting up. So because I love,
Right.
I'm in love, I'm in commitment with what God has created me to do. And I'm going to, I am determined to get that thing done. So therefore, I love my neighbor like I love myself.
And that's good.
Wow.
That means that is heavy.
Yes.
That if like they said, what do unto others, you would have them to
Yeah.
do unto you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I had a question on it. But really, I like your approach. Like you were saying, even identifying the core, and because the way that you presenting it, it's not offensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That's good.
And in that, it's not offensive to a lot of different people, even religions. And
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
right.
Right.
That's right.
But like when I hear you talking, to me it's a call, and we're accepting the call or rejecting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I can use that in the church with somebody else. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can't
Can't use
identify
that,
them.
right.
Now, if they come in and they join my church,
Yeah.
then I can call you out on it, and I can tell you, didn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
Didn't you commit?
Yes to
But it's
this.
different with somebody that's not a part of that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But even at that, I know you preach. I've been knowing you a little while. But it's not like we've been talking.
Right.
But even at that, have you ran into some closed doors while you're out there? You're in the public. You're dealing with city, and you also have ministry, and you know how our laws are trying to keep
Yeah.
the church out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You run into some closed doors even as you're counseling or talking, and they say, "No, you can't say too much about
Now,
God."
Jesus,
I'm
God,
gonna tell you this.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this, Pastor Wu. I
Yes,
did when I
yes.
first started with Next Level Enterprise in my 20s. I'm gonna tell you, and God allowed me to go through a lot of that because so it wouldn't be a barrier now.
Right, right.
In my 20s, I had the company Next Level Enterprise where I was doing trainings and getting contracts with the city of going in, working with their freshmen, and then working with their seniors graduating on goal setting and things of nature. So I've been doing training for a while, right? So the business was Next Level Ministry, a poetry speech ministry. and I met Les Brown.
Yes.
And
oh,
Les
that's
Brown,
my favorite.
Les Brown
Yes.
asked me, he said, so why you call it ministry? And I was fresh in the ministry. They call me
Bold.
Black Jesus, right? So, yeah,
Black Jesus.
I'm defending it, right? I'm a minister. This is what I do. I'm going in on it. And he said, well, you ain't gonna get the Lord our doors, you're gonna close. I said, well, God said he opened up a door.
Doors
I went
for
through all
me.
that.
Yeah.
He said, all right, young man, but I would encourage you to reconsider.
Okay.
Now, I left there, and the principal at OD Wide, he said, if you keep this with ministry, man, he said, people are going to think you're going to come from one way. Okay? And this was my 20s. So I changed it up and called it Next Level. And then what came to mind was the scripture that we have to be wise as a say,
That's right,
and yet
servant.
humble as doves.
Dove.
Humble enough to know I don't have to say John
Thank
this
you.
or God said.
Yeah.
But what he allowed me to start doing is when I read to see principles. Meaning I don't debate whether Jesus was born of a virgin.
Right.
Right.
And I have brothers in the body who are theologians.
Oh, yeah.
That's their
Right,
thing.
right.
And then we believe, but the truth is we don't know. We believe.
Right, right.
But what I can say is this, and it's difficult for you to debate. If the stories is true, you cannot deny this man Jesus was disciplined.
Right,
You cannot deny he was committed.
right,
He was consistent.
right,
He was persistent.
right.
He had courage out of this world.
Yes.
You see? So
Yeah.
when you teach these principles, now these principles are universal.
That's right. That's right.
So I take those principles,
yes.
and I put them into a training tied into with psychology.
Yeah, there you
Call
go
it human
with,
core.
with your degree.
Right, right. So
that's
absolutely. So
good.
now, why would you deny me? Because it's proven based.
And it's
Your studies will
That's
support
right.
it. You know, so when the scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that's what the core is all about. Okay, when it talks about every seed will birth out of its own kind, you got to know what your seed is if you're going
Right.
to birth something. If not, you're birthing what this world has given you. You know, you're creating what is, in other words, identify what your core is. So once I started just rearranging those things, and I got away from religion
yeah.
and allow that creativity to really start flowing, then I start creating things and get into doors where I do trainings and diversity training with Walmarts and Sam's and colleges.
Yeah.
And so now there's no barriers.
Right.
Yeah, you can't
And
box
that's
me.
good. Box
Yeah,
you
you
in
can't put
now.
me in a box and say,
Right.
okay, well, you look at it and say, okay, well, he's going to come from this particular.
Right.
And then that shuts that door because they think you're gonna come in there talking about
Yeah.
Christianity and all
Yeah.
of that.
You come in trying
okay.
discipleship.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Go
but the
ahead.
thing, the truth is, you are sowing a seed.
Yes, you are.
And you're sowing that seed,
Seed.
and somebody's gonna come back and water it. Or you're
That's right.
watering a seed somebody else is sowing.
That's right.
Yeah, because many times, just like she said, it sounded like I was preaching. They say the same thing in the jail. They like, man, are you a preacher?
That's how they do
Nah.
me. But you
You
let
can't
them
get
say
away
it,
from
and
it.
you
There
can't
you
get
go.
away. You know they
Yeah.
do me like that
You let
too.
them say
But they
it.
saying
Yeah.
I'm not saying it.
Well, the thing
You
is,
know?
this is the thing I believe. When they say that, is because just like a teacher in school, when especially when you're in school, and I'm not going to teachers now, but you had teachers that were just teachers by nature.
Right.
Right? Yes. yes.
They was gonna sow that into your
That's
soul.
right, no matter
They're
what.
gonna pull you aside because they care about you. Now, boy, look at here, you can do what you want, but they're gonna really talk to you.
Right.
They're not teaching for the task test or
Right.
whatever the case is. When you are a minister, when you serve people,
right.
you speak into their soul.
Yes.
So I don't care if you at a conference. I don't care
gonna
wherever
show
I'm
up.
speaking. People were gonna pull me aside. They told me, "Young man, I think you done missed your calling."
Yep.
Because
There you
they
go.
say I'm supposed to be a minister. Or
Yeah.
they don't know I'm a licensed minister. They
Right.
don't know this, right?
Right.
So they say this because you have spoken to their soul.
That's right. And
You
that-
have
yes,
spoken something
yes.
into them to where it has to unlocking their mind. They start thinking different. They start seeing different.
But
Right.
isn't it
Yeah.
interesting that although people don't necessarily, you don't want that to be said, or you don't go in as a minister, I'm a
Yeah.
reverend, a bishop, or whatever. that people automatically know, okay, the nature person, oh, she weird, she be talking about trees. They will label you.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh,
okay,
yes, they
he's
will.
a tree-
Yeah, yeah.
After you finish speaking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, she's one of those tree people, or oh, he's a minister, or oh, she's one of those
Yeah, yeah.
say-
Missionaries
Yeah.
or evangelists.
Yeah, they'll say it. You may not bring the
Yeah.
title out front,
Right.
but people will know.
Very good, because that's
something?
why
After
that's
they listen to you, they'll know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
soulful, or she's neo soul, or she's
Yeah.
and that's why, like now, I mean, I'm going through the path of getting ready to be ordained and everything. So, what title I'll carry, I don't know. If it'll just be Andre,
But, you
or
know-
just be. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, just like my Lord, Jesus, his name was Jesus. Right? He didn't carry any other title, and the reason being is because people gonna call you what they see you to be.
There you go.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
however they see you to be,
Right.
that's how they're going to
That's
label
right.
you.
You become all things to all people that you
Right.
may
Right.
win.
There you go.
Right. So,
There you
Oh
go.
gosh, this hour went by so
Already an hour going by. Very
Yeah.
good.
man. But what's gonna happen next with Andre? What's up next?
Oh, what's up next is
We're gonna have a part 2.
yeah. Well, what's up next? I'm
Yeah.
working. I really want to start going into the jails and doing the whole human core development piece for the reentry population, for those individuals who normally have 60 to 90 days before release.
Okay.
So the city is really behind me, you know,
Okay,
and
good.
giving me all kind of letters of endorsement. So to go into the jails, but eventually I want to go into multiple jails
Okay.
all across the country. But to be able to provide that training for individuals prior to being released, so
Yes.
that way when they're released, yeah, they get a job, but then they're pursuing this career.
There you go.
You know,
Right.
working a job because I need some income coming in,
Right.
but yet I am I'm aware of who I am.
Right.
I'm aware of what I possess. You know, and I always use that prefix of that word articulate, art.
Okay.
You know, being able to help them in a way where they can paint a picture of who they are.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
when someone asks, "So tell me about yourself," or "Where are you going?" or
Right,
you know,
right.
so they're totally aware of the things they possess. So that's what I see right now. I do see spiritual leadership,
Okay.
whether I have a house of worship. Or multiple houses of worship, and that's just where it says, you know, it's like you just can't get away from it.
You can't.
You know,
Right.
and
It's just-
honestly,
just
I'm gonna
part
tell you
of it.
that's I've really come to accept that that's my role.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
to take my
Yes.
place in the kingdom.
Yes.
Is hey, I'm a minister, man. I'm a speaker. That's
That's
what I do.
right.
So that's where it's at for me. I won't stop doing. I'm sure I won't have to stop doing trainings with different companies and organizations because
Yeah.
that's also where it's at for me. But you just being able to share with people.
Yes.
I call it the faith, the faith and the science, the spiritual and the
Yes,
science, because I
yes.
think the work is the science of it.
Yes,
That
yes.
faith without works is dead. Many of us are so really big on the faith part,
Yeah.
Right.
but yet the know-how.
Yes.
You know how to modify behaviors, how
Yes.
to go after self-actualization, reach that top pinnacle, you know, of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know,
Yeah.
things of that nature. Be able to combine those two, because you can't discredit the science. You can't, you know, and the reason being I look at you can't discredit the science is because it's the mind of the scientist that was created by God.
Right.
And
Yes.
obviously, when I hear people tap into, I know our time is coming to an end. But man, when I see people tapping into or creating things that you've never seen before, I look at they're tapping into their God likeness. You know, their God
Yeah.
likeness. But at the same time, you have the faith that you can get it done. But then, do you have the works?
Right. Right.
Do you
to go
know
with
how
it.
to get it
Yes.
done? So if you don't
Yes.
have the works, it says your faith without works is dead. So we believe all of our lives.
Right.
But yet we
right.
never know how to accomplish. We never know how to make this thing a reality
Right.
because we don't have the know-how, the work part of it.
Yes.
Okay. And that's why I'm really big on going to the jails, because teaching individuals, and I'm in there with individuals and they're some of them 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and they
Yes.
still can't tell you who they are.
Are.
But yet many of them have been in church all their lives.
Life.
That just don't sit well with me. That you've been up under a teacher and you can't tell me who God created you to be, what he made you, what he poured in you. You can't tell me your thought process.
Yeah.
You can't tell me your giftings and abilities.
Yes.
And you've been in church all your life. That doesn't sit. I don't judge, but it puts that burden on me that, okay, If it's on me, okay, that's what I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to help people identify who they are, develop a stronger relationship with the Creator so they may accomplish why they was born here. Because I don't want you to say you were a faithful tither and you still don't know who you are.
Right.
I don't want you to say you never missed a Sunday, but you don't have no idea of your career path.
Right.
You have no idea what you can contribute to society. And when you die, your life dies.
Right.
That's not how it's supposed to be. If we are followers of Christ, our life is supposed to live forever.
Yes.
Just like Christ lived his life. We're still celebrating his life 2,000 years later.
Right.
So if I'm his follower, then when I leave here, people are supposed to be still benefiting from my life when I'm gone. That's how God continually gets the glory when I'm out of here.
Right.
They still say, they'll say, man, you know how the scripture says, they'll see my works and glorify God. They'll say, man, I'm glad that joker lived.
Like Martin Luther King.
We still say
you still celebrate
it. His life is still living, but it's not supposed to be 1 in a million.
Right.
But
It's supposed to be everyone.
Me personally, I think what we do sometimes is we make people see they should be global when you should just be right here in your community.
Be you. That's
and what happens is because you went to Martin Luther King, but you forgot I make a difference and you make a difference. And you make a difference. And what has happened that I see over the years is that everybody's trying to be big.
Thank you.
Everybody's got to be big, and you forget that it's each day.
But why do you have to be big?
Because that's what we always hear.
That's what society teaches us.
We hear because you went to Martin Luther King.
Right.
So how do I jump to Martin Luther King when I can just be right here with the curve?
What it say? Don't sweat small beginnings. We just need to be, like you said,
we talk about everything being big.
Yes.
You ignore that person that's in the helps ministry.
That's
the receptionist. Or the
janitor.
We overlook them. We overlook all the basic, everyday, fundamental things that need to be done. And everybody's striving to be at that top.
And everyone's not going to be
company.
there.
Well, you may not be.
That's right.
You may not need to be a company owner. Just embrace right here where you are and allow that to grow. And I was telling somebody, just enjoy being out with the sheep. Was that David?
Yeah.
He was just watching sheep, chilling, talking to
God did.
dealing with wolves, bears, flies, whatever else was out there, poop. People don't want to deal with the poop. I just want to be the one that comes in that door, come here, sit down. So you get that image in your mind that the only way that I'm doing something that is of notoriety is if I'm right here. They don't see your son sitting over there.
Behind the scene.
Behind the scene. We don't respect the behind the scene people, and I don't know why.
You're right.
Because you can't make it.
That's because they don't consider them as anybody, somebody.
And society has done that.
You know, and I'm glad that you brought that up because my life living forever can simply be the spiritual inheritance I give to my children. And like I say, it doesn't have to be the Martin, because everyone's not going to be the Martin Luther King. But when I said it doesn't have to be 1 to me, it should be all of us. I believe that wholeheartedly, because even if I'm not on the grand stage, the inheritance that I leave spiritually can be so much more than the physical inheritance that I leave. And my life will live forever because the principles that I teach for my children, my children will teach their children. And they'll teach their children, and so on and so on.
And then the other one, the people that you're talking to, they're going to remember what you said.
But the reason I said Martin Luther King, because you have, I understand that. But I'm looking at he started small. He didn't ask to be the savior of, they used the word colored people back in 1964. He didn't ask to be that. Undoubtedly, God saw something in him, and others saw something in him. So that's the reason I was using Martin Luther King.
They still talking about him.
But let me shut this two down, because I don't want us to get no debate about this. But let me share my opinion. I won't say that God saw something in him. It was already there.
It was already there.
This is the thing. This is the thing. There's nothing more. I forget who said this, so I really don't want to quote if I got to. It says there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. When an idea time has come to be birthed into the world, it's coming whether it come through you or somebody else. Now, somebody else might have said that idea came to mind, and they said, man, they still hanging Negroes. I ain't finna get out there on that front line.
Thank you.
But then it came to Martin Luther King. Seriously. They came to Martin Luther King, and he was like, something got to be done.
Done. There you go.
And he stepped out there.
Yeah.
But what was in him was already
Already
there.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
We just
But
got
he
to
tapped
implement
into
But
that
the
that.
core.
opportunity
He tapped
Yeah.
into the
is
core. His
the
spirit
opportunity.
Yes.
tapped into his
This is the
spirit.
thing. The opportunities, our experience, give us the opportunity to fulfill potential.
Right.
The potential can only be developed if opportunity.
That's
Steps in the
So
way.
what
There
was
you
in
go.
Martin, that the potential was already there. The opportunity gave him that potential to become that speaker that we
Yes.
hear.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
maybe he was already speaking,
He
maybe
was
already
already
preaching,
speaking,
he was
right?
already- yeah,
But
he
then that
had the
opportunity
Opportunity.
birthed that potential, right?
Yes.
And it came out that he went
Yes.
further
he
and
fought
further,
further.
and now I'm in this
Anyway.
thing.
And I can't
Ain't
turn
no
back
quitting.
now.
Yeah,
There ain't no turning back
absolutely.
in now. But you know, we're gonna get ready to close. But I thought about that, and I never will forget when I had the opportunity to move to the board, and you were such an inspiration in that you might not even know this, but when you was walking down the hall that day, I never will forget it. And I asked you because I thought you was at the board, and you said, "No, I'm not at the board."
Yeah.
And that's when I mentioned you. I said, "Well, they are offering me a position to go to the board." And all this time, I'm thinking you at the board, and you
Yeah.
wasn't. You said, "No, Elma, go.
Yeah.
You take that position. That's a door opening to you." I don't know if you remember that we was over there east side, and you said, "No, Elma, I've never had that opportunity to go and be at the board.
Right, right.
You go to that opportunity, you know." And I want to thank you for that because I was getting content being just a facilitator at that time because that's what I love. But when you said that, you said no. That door is open for you. You go and you go to that board. So I want to thank you for that
Absolutely.
to this day because see,
Does the offer
right
come
at
with
that time,
I said,
that's
does the
when
offer come with
W.
that?
You on my show? That's what it is. See, but W and I was going out, and that's when the new ones coming,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that at that
And
time.
that was right on time, too,
Right
huh?
on time.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
I walked down that hall, I was praying that day, and I was saying, "Lord, what should I do?" And I know it had to be God because
Yeah.
you was coming around that corner at that moment when I was praying.
Yeah.
And when I said that, and I asked you that, and you said, "No, girl, you better take that opportunity to go to the board.
Yeah.
I'm not at the board." And I said, that was my answer.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went back and then I called Judy, and I said, yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was
very
right on
good.
time. So
It was.
the opportunity was there, but you get afraid sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
But all you need is that little push. So I'm gonna make this simple, but then we gotta close with my favorite poem by him. On our next show, which is going to be April the 8th, we're going to have Roletta Woodard. She's a poet. She's a graduate of TCC with an associate degree in art. She was born and raised in Stop 6. Now, I don't know too much about Stop 6, but
Yeah,
I
it's
heard
my
it was
neighborhood.
pretty bad. It's a real rough neighborhood, ain't it, or something? But anyway.
good neighborhood.
It's a good neighborhood. All right, now, I don't know.
I gotta
now.
represent,
I
man.
heard
Bad
that.
elements.
Good,
That's
so-
my neighborhood. I
There's
come
some
out there,
bad
yeah.
elements.
Okay,
There you
okay.
go.
all right.
It's changed.
Okay, so, but she was saying that she's gonna come on the show, and I want you all to tune in because she's been in prison, and she has really, God has really made a big change in her life, and she's gonna tell her story. Then on April the 22nd, I had the privilege of meeting because I don't meet strangers. I met this lady at one of our meetings, and her name is Nola Parker, and she's going to be my guest in April, the second Monday night, April 22nd. 22nd. She's an author, a veteran, an advocate against bullying. I really want her to talk about the bullying because this has really been a big topic that a lot of people may not talk about it, but she's talking about being bullied even as an adult
Yeah.
and
Oh,
children,
yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
we definitely want you all to tune in for that. And then on
That's
April the
good.
24th, 25th, and 26th, I'm going to have a wig conference. Y'all know I love wearing wigs. And I said, God, what does that mean? When he put in my spirit to do this wig conference, he said, wig just capture the attention. You know, we do that in the workshop. You want to capture the attention of the audience. He said, wig. I said, well, what does it stand for? He said, women in God. Oh, I'm a woman in God, and I love wigs. So you all come out to the wig conference, April the 24th, 25th, 26th. And we don't want men. I want you all to show up too. You need to see what a confident woman look like.
Yes.
You need to hear what we're going to talk about. There are going to be 7 different speakers going to speak. 3 on Wednesday, 3 on Thursday, and then I'm going to close it out on Friday night. Kimberly is going to speak. Sister Linda is going to speak, and we're going to have confident women walk. We want these women. So if you feel that you are a confident woman, I want you to come in and march with these confident women and show yourself off to the world. And these single men that need a good woman, we're going to let you pick them up, baby. Hey. All right, you'll get to see a taste of it. Because we want you to know. So that's going to be April the 24th, 25th, and 26th. If you need a fun photo booth, I welcome you to please contact the Kirk Booth.
The perfect addition to your next event. Book us now, the Kirk Booth. We bring the life to the party. From corporate events, to weddings, to birthdays, and much more, we've done it all. Packages include unlimited photo printing, unlimited text messaging, a USB drive with all photos, video recording, props, backdrops, and logo branding, as well as a friendly attendant on site to assist with rental. Call today and find us on Facebook or visit our website for more info.
And a lot of people don't bring cameras, so hey, book the Kirk Booth for your next homegoing service. And your PCN. See, God give you a vision.
I like that.
Okay? So, birthday parties, weddings, and we're booking up pretty fast. So, hey, we do job fairs, we do it all. So, don't forget, rent the Kirk Booth. I also work that too. And if you're willing to go to school, we have a dynamic school that teaches you how to take blood. I don't like that, but Alicia White has a school called A+ Phlebotomy. If you're looking for a career, I tell you, this girl can hook you up. She can teach you how to take blood where it won't hurt. She have fun with you while you're learning, and it doesn't cost that much. So, hey, look up Alicia White. I think I have her phone number here. It's 817-948-0373. And you can also reach her at the Church Within International Ministry, where our meeting place is the American Legion Hall, 1250 Mansfield Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas. Our Sunday school starts at 10 a.m. Morning worship is 11:15, and I would love to see you there. I'm the co-pastor. My husband is the pastor. Okay, so don't forget, April the 8th, we're having Rowletta Woodard. And April 27th, what did I say her name?
Nola Parker.
Nola Parker. And we would love to have Andre. We got to have you to come back, man.
Absolutely.
We got to have you come back.
That young lady, Nola Parker, man, she's sharp. You guys are going to be in for a treat. Absolutely.
Good.
She's going to be in for a treat. Also, on April 6th, I'll be speaking at the conference.
Mention that,
It's called A Time to Flutter. It's going to be at the Hilton.
Okay.
They have over 18 women that's going to be in breakout sessions.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll be there talking about the butterfly.
Oh, man, I know that's going to be good.
Y'all got to come to, because when I started learning about the butterfly, I almost went and got a tattoo on my neck. Seriously, of a butterfly. I got tattoos, but I was going to have one on my neck. I know it's not too manly, but this show is going to strike up a good conversation.
All right.
Because I just about the metamorphosis, man.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be at the
today
conference.
Yeah.
I'll be at the conference, A Time to Flutter. I'm speaking at that conference. I'm really excited about getting a chance to pour into those women. I don't think it's a conference just for women.
Okay.
But it's going to be many of them. I thought it was going to be just for women at first when I seen all the trainers and everything.
Okay.
But it's going to be a really good conference. A lot of breakout sessions, a lot of information that's going to be very empowering, a lot of information, a lot of resources that's going to be available. So it's really good for entrepreneurs to be there to network and meet other strong women like yourselves.
Okay, good. Kim, we're so happy that you was able to be with us tonight. And I know you brought a guest tonight, and we have her book. I was going through this book. It is awesome. I definitely need you to be on the show. Come up and introduce yourself. She's an author. Yes. Come on up here and just have a seat. Oh, I hate for you to have to come around this way. We're going to introduce her real quickly. And I was going through this book, and it's really interesting. I definitely need you to be on the show. Yes, okay. So give us your name and real quickly and everything about this nice book.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cece Preston. I'm
Hello.
Dr. Posh. I am an etiquetician. I'm a specialist in etiquette and protocol, primarily Christian etiquette and
Okay.
protocol. So I teach on modesty,
Yes.
and not exposing ourselves and that type of a thing, and etiquette and how to, behave yourself, and also how to reflect Christ in everyday life.
Yes. And look, y'all, this is good, because I just preached a sermon on this not too long ago. She says on here, thou shalt have no hair rollers. I laughed at that. I told Kim, please let me see this book. And hold our head in public places. We get that in the workforce. And then she said, thou shalt not neglect thy skin, and thou shalt not expose thy cleavage. I just preached a sermon on this. Thou shalt not have a clover. Oh, we got to have you back.
Yes, ma'am.
The name of the book is, go ahead and name it.
So the name of the book is Posh Protocol Volume 1.
Okay.
The 10 Commandments of Christian Accoutrement for Women.
We're going to have you on the show. See, I'm just meeting authors. And God had shared with me years ago, about 20-some years ago, people will walk up to me and say, you're going to write a book. And I said, really? You're going to write a book. But for the last, I guarantee you, for the last 3 months, that's all I've been having on my show mostly is authors. I had last Monday, we had Aaron Fields here.
Yes,
he dealt with unhealthy, he wrote a book on unhealthy relationships, Then Nola Parker, she's coming on here. Now, and she brought this, I said, oh, she said she's coming tonight. I said, oh, wow, this is nice. So I think God is getting ready to get me to write my book. I'm not going to tell y'all the name of it yet, but it's coming. But I would love for you to be on my show. I would love for you to talk about that, because we need to know how to dress and how to, back in my day, we wore them long skirts, and soon, our parents would say, you make the man look and wonder what's up under there. Now we tell them what's up under there.
Right.
And it only take a second to undress them.
And then they don't want to look.
And then but then they go get a woman that ain't showing everything. That's the one they marry, like my husband. I hear some of that stuff. Okay, but that's another subject. But anyway, I thank you, Andre, for being on. You have been such a blessing.
Yes, he
I am
has.
so glad that let me shake your hand again, Mike.
Is he gonna do
And
his
Andre
poem?
has spoken several times at the church, and we're going to have him to come back and speak again at the church and stuff like that. So we must end with my favorite poem. When I heard this poem, I just fell in love with Time. Please do that one for me.
Yes.
I love Time.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't have to convince you that.
Yeah, you didn't have to work too hard for that.
Good.
All right. Time. Time. You're dreaming, you're planning, and you are doing it because you have time. Time has come to be my most precious commodity, for I'm at liberty to invest it in whatsoever I desire. So will I spend my time trying to get one to admire me? No. I'd rather spend my time being who I be while I'm yet free, before time brings my being a slave to the grave, in which there is no more time for trying, no more time for dreams, no more time to achieve. And what could have been done through your hands will never be. So I say worry for what? Because I've seen the wicked prolong their life in their wickedness, and the righteous worry, stress, and die in their righteousness before their time, because many of them gave too much time to thinking on the thoughts about how others thought they spent their own time.
Yes.
Look, there are judges who will judge you according to the laws of this land that you live.
Yes.
And there's a judge who will judge you after you leave this land. Now that one is the one that ruled it, so while you still breathe and have your being, man, live your time to its fullest.
Yes.
Because understand, when it's with your time that you do, the blame falls on you. So don't procrastinate and prostitute your time by allowing unproductive journeys to rob and steal your mind, leaving you blind to the truth that you will eventually run out of time. You're operating now because you have time. You're planning your goals and your dreams because you have time. You love and forgive because you have time. And you can still try only because you have time. But man, time has its time.
Yes,
you see, it is alive. For it was birthed from the womb of eternity. That's why it never stops running, only diminishing, never diminishing, only growing. And everything that has been given time will one day have to give up its time. And you, along with your time and life, have been given the free will in mind. So with your freedom of choice, what will you choose to do with the remainder of your time? Time.
You just get mesmerized with that. Thank you so much, Andre. Oh, I love it. Don't you love the Talk of Life talk show with Elma? Stay tuned. Watch us on YouTube. We're on YouTube. Please subscribe to the Talk of Life talk show with Elma. And stay tuned for next month. I guarantee you, you'll love it.
Man.
All right.